Hey yo, who here on YouTube came to see the NCP? One more for the good guys. Now, before I get started, I'm going all out this year. Just gotta do a quick shout out to all subscribers to the channel and to the followers of Rumble. 475 on YouTube, just 25 more away. It's like pulling fucking teeth to get these subs, but pull them, I shall. Alright, because once I reach 500, like I said, at the top 1 through 5 heels video, a tier list, updating the intro and outro videos. But thank you to the people who are still here that like, comment, support the channels on both YouTube and on Rumble. I appreciate it. I truly do. Alright, but enough of that, let's get into it. So, start off with the pre-show, which there's this discrepancy that, so normally they air the shit on YouTube, right? The pre-show, but since they're on HBO Max, they said, fuck all that. Alright, we don't do shit free here. If you want a free trial, that's different, but we offering no pay-per-view on all damn YouTube. There's a lot of confusion going on, because on YouTube, right, it was just RJ City, Renee Paquette, and Brian Danielson talking in some empty-ass building about All Out. And the people on their chat were talking like, oh, you just missed this match. And they're like, well, how do you watching this shit? We gotta watch it on HBO Max. Matches that were advertised for the All Out pre-show was exclusive, I guess, to HBO Max or whatever fucking other platforms that they're on. Damn sure it wasn't on YouTube. I could tell you that. Alright? Like, at the first match on the pre-show, already got the Ops, you know, you got free Powerhouse Hops, Powerhouse. Samoa Joe, aka Sweet Tooth, going up against the Workhorsemen. Alright? This was an obvious no-brainer. Fast forward to the finish, Samoa Joe hits the Coquina Clutch on, is it JD Drake? I think that's his name. I apologize if I fuck it up. Taps his ass out, right? Ops go over. And we then go into the next match right after. Got Shibata coming out, who is banned in New Japan, right? And here's the thing about Katsuyori Shibata, right? The best part of his fucking entrance is the intro. I hate this revised, shortened down version of his theme song. It's like with Murder Grandpa, Minoru Suzuki, aka the Yakuza. That's why I envision the Yakuza to be Minoru Suzuki. Like his theme song. You're not gonna fucking cut his theme song short. You gotta let that shit rock the fuck out here the whole way through. That's how good it is. You know what I mean? But get the match against Danny Garcia, who is now with the Rough Riders. You know, he's rocking the all black at the do-rag. He says, well, it's a 5 figures side of face to the cameraman. He says, slap. Smacks fucking shit, right? Get the match. And this was it was a decent match. They had quite a bit of time, like over like 15 minutes. Right, but fast forward to the finish. Danny Garcia hits pretty much we call it a curb stomp basically to Shibata for the 1, 2, 3, and disrespectfully it says fuck you while pinning him. Danny Garcia, and I guess this was the repeat here, the trilogy goes over. Then they show RJ City and Renee here in the building, live in attendance, and it's like, well, why couldn't you just do that in the first place? You know, why are we watching 2 different streams, right? If you're on YouTube, it's a completely different stream compared to the actual stream going on Max, which is the actual pre-show going on. So, I don't know, a bunch of confusion, you know, clusterfuck going on, and hopefully they get their shit together so that this doesn't happen again. Alright? We then get an impromptu match, right? A match I had no idea was happening or scheduled, right? Got the Paragon, Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly teaming up a hologram, go up against Frat House. Got Preston Vance that hasn't done shit since leaving the Dark Order. Got Griff Garrison, who's still stuck in limbo. there at ROH. Got the other dude, I don't know his name, and a dude, the manager from what's that tag team, the Meat Mountain or something like that. I can't remember their fucking names, but yeah, this was a short match. The Paragon hologram go over. Hologram is a double foot stomp to one of the guys' frat house for the 1, 2, 3. Blink, you miss it. It was just really no need for this match, but I don't know. But, what more can I say about this shit, man? But that leads us to a main event here on the pre-show. It's an 8-woman tag team match, and I know there's a lot of criticism about these ladies because they've been feuding for like, it seems like an whole year now, and it's just nothing but tag team matches. And it's like, you can't come up with anything else, something more that we can sink our teeth into, like an actual story going on. No. The answer is no. Right? 'Cause you got Mercedes Moné holding the TBS championship hostage, alright? And then of course you got timeless Toni Storm doing her thing, right? And they only have but a few challengers going after them. You know what I mean? And here are these lovely ladies getting stuck in limbo, you know, that mid-card purgatory, not doing fuck all. Alright? So no. Obviously they have no clear direction with any of these ladies. Alright? It's obvious. But this was easily the best match in the pre-show, where all these ladies look absolutely fantastic. MVP being Sky Blue. If you've seen the match, if you know, you know. We fast forward to the finish. Willow Nightingale goes right upside Penelope Ford's head, trash can, right? Then hits that nasty gut-wrench powerbomb for the 1, 2, 3. I guess you could say Team Willow or Team Mina or Team Queen Aminata or Team Carly Cameron. Go over. There you go. It's Team Megan Bain. The Amazons went over, what was it, All In? So therefore Team Willow had to go over here, and they did in an entertaining match, right? So that leads us to the actual pay-per-view, right? It's been announced that Bryan Danielson, the Broken Dragon, is now on commentary, right? I'm pretty sure it's official, so he's gonna be on commentary moving forward. Alright, got a huge pop. This is Bryan Danielson. We then see Edge and Christian, and I'm not calling him fucking Cope or Copeland or Adam Copeland. It's fucking Edge. We all know him as Edge. Let's not pretend like we don't. Alright, so it's Edge and Christian coming through, right? Now we see Mr. Wendell Clark from the Toronto Maple Leafs, a legendary hockey player. I don't know shit about hockey. The only hockey player I know is Wayne Gretzky, but who doesn't know about Wayne Gretzky? You know what I mean? I'm just saying. Alright, but hey, he got a huge pop. And then we see Mr. Bubbles from the Trail Park Boys. Never got into that show. I've seen clips and episodes here and there and shit. I never got into that shit, man. Like, this dude got a huge fucking pop, alright? You know, Christian, he wants to film Bubbles. You know, he says, oh, yeah, what'd you call me? That's the same thing I called your mama last night. And it's like, Ed's like, whoa, man, like, what the fuck's your problem, dude? Like, this is Bubbles, man. Well, I'm sorry about it, man. We're gonna get going. And not even a minute later, we then see the Green Bastard, right, from parts unknown, letting it be known that it's hammer time. Alright? And Edge, he wanted to apologize to the Green Bastard. He says, like, look, he's an asshole. He truly is. But he's my asshole. Alright? Then we get the first match of the night. Got Edge and Christian. Those that benefit of flash photography. Going up against FTR, Big Stoke in Canada. Well, Toronto, that is. Let it be known that Big Stoke gets no hose. That's hilarious. Sad, but hilarious. Alright, and then fast forward to the end of the match, right? Now we see Beth Phoenix coming out of nowhere, making her AEW debut, if I'm not mistaken. Spears the shit out of Big Stoke. Big Stoke is down. Big Stoke is down. She then fireman carries his ass up out of there. Alright, we then get back to the match. Wheeler hits a nasty, and I do mean a nasty powerbomb on top of the announce table to Christian. Christian was done. FTR then hits not one, but two Shatter Machines, aka Big Rigs, to Edge, but that wasn't enough. Somehow Edge miraculously gets back up, spears Cash Wheeler for the 1, 2, 3. Edge and Christian go over. Right afterwards, we see, call me Nick Wayne. He's about to go insane. That fine ass milf that is Mama Wayne. That's the we right there. Then causes a distraction. FTR attacks Edge and Christian. We see Kip Sabian. He handcuffs Edge's wrist to the ropes with the handcuffs, right? And then we see FTR hit that spike pile driver to Christian. Christian is down. Christian is down. You see Bat Phoenix. She tells Edge, I love you, but I'm a savage. I gotta do this. Right? Attacks FTR. FTR then hits that spike pile driver to Bat Phoenix. Bat Phoenix is down. Bat Phoenix is down. Now, wouldn't it make more sense if FTR, when it went over and then did this, even getting themselves even more heat? I'm just saying, but for some reason, Edge and Christian went over, even though Edge took 2 back-to-back Shatter Machines. But what do I know? Right. We then move on to the next match. We have Big Bill now out there with Mr. Brian Keith. I don't think they're called Redwood, the Bad Apple anymore. I don't think hi guys, I'm the learning tree. I don't think that's a thing anymore, right? So they're going up against the returning Mad King himself, Eddie Kingston. Rocking the Claudio Sucks Eggs shirt, letting it be known that he still fucking hates Claudio Castagnoli. Alright, it's good to see Eddie Kingston. He was out for 497 days, if I'm not mistaken. Alright, we get the match, and this was one of the weakest matches on the card. I'm not gonna lie to you. Alright, probably the weakest, honestly. Alright, I know there's criticism of Eddie Kingston and Wugs. Alright, yeah, hitting those the machine gun chops in the corner. I never liked that spot. It doesn't matter who the fuck it is. It could be Kenta Kobashi. It could be Eddie Kingston. When Bret Hart says like chops look like shit, that's what I think of right there. Those machine gun chops, those look like shit. That's just me. That's my opinion. You know what I mean? But they fast forward to the finish. Eddie hits the Orkin, that back fist, completely misses. And I was laughing because Tony, I know a lot of people don't like him. They think his commentary sucks, or that he's just a bootlicker for AEW, but it's the little things he does and says, like the little bickering. Like an Eddie Kingston obviously missed it, looked like shit, and you can hear Tony. He was like, that missed. Hilarious. That's fucking hilarious because it's true. That he fucking missed it. And then Danielson and fucking bitch ass Excalibur, they're like, I think he got the top of his head. Caught that corner right there. But Eddie hits back fist. 1, 2, 3. Eddie Kingston goes over. Now, for being honest, in no universe should Eddie Kingston ever, and I do mean ever, go over on someone like Big Bill. But this is AEW, so they treat Big Bill like a big jobber. So it is what it is, man. But afterwards, we see Brian Keith. He attacks Eddie Kingston. We then hear a shit theme song with Sand Hook. See Hook coming out with his new theme song, and that shit is ass. I guess Action Bronson said, I'm good on AEW. They didn't get the rights to the theme song that he had. So this is the best that they could come up with. Garbage. Absolutely garbage. And the only reason Hook is helping out Eddie Kingston because Hook was injured during the formation of Hobbs, right? Because really, he should be where Powerhouse Hobbs is. Free Powerhouse Hobbs. I'm just saying. Then move on to the next match. Got Mr. Maxwell up to Jacob to the Freedman going up against Reach for the Sky, boy. My nigga Mark Briscoe, right? It's pretty much like a street fight, whatever, hardcore match, right? Grudge match. Didn't really get into it, you know, but yeah, you know, Mark's one of my favorites. It's just, I don't know, man. This match didn't do it for me. But we fast forward to the finish. Mark Briscoe hits that J Driller for the 1, 2, 3. Mark Briscoe goes over. Afterwards, we see Mr. Jerry Lynn chopping it up with Maskcaster, You're the Best Wrestler Alive, and 5-tool player, Anthony Bowens. He announces that you guys are going to be a tag team. If you don't want to fucking wrestle, then we're going to fire you. Well, we're not going to fire you, but we'll suspend you. You won't get paid, basically. Alright, so come to work next week, do business. Alright? Tag team next week. Alright? And it's like, they weren't even separated for that long. They're already getting put back together for a tag team run again. I mean, hey man. So much for Anthony Bowens singles push, huh? We then move on to the next match. Right, got Gates Ricochet going up against We Hurt People. We Hurt People. Yeah. We Hurt People. The Hurt Syndicate. These are two groups that I can support. Alright, I already like the Hurt Syndicate. Alright, again, my best video I've done on this channel so far was booking the Hurt Syndicate. Alright, but that shit got no dislikes. They got like over 7K views. I'm still proud of that video to this day. That's what I would have done with Hurt Syndicate, but here we are, they're feuding against Gates Ricochet. Yeah, Ricochet trying his hardest to be a football heel, you know, still wrestles like a babyface, and more often than not comes off as super duper goofy. Like, goofy as shit out there. But we fast forward to the finish, right, and I already knew this was a 6-man tag team match. That MVP is involved, he's taking the L. And that's exactly what happened. Ricochet hits that spirit gun like he's Yusuke Urameshi from Yu Yu Hakusho to MVP Montel Vontavious Porter for the 1, 2, 3. Gates of Ricochet go over. Alright. Then move on to the next match. As for TBS Championship, we have Riho coming back, returning off her injury. And Riho is the shit. Alright. Easily. And I say this without a shadow of a doubt, the best seller in that fucking company, bar none. Like, she can make anybody look good. She will sell her ass off to make her opponent look good. Kind of like the Dolph Ziggler, aka the Ryan Nemeth of the women's division. I'm just saying. Alright. She's going up against the reigning, defending, undisputed TBS champion, CEO, Mercedes broke. Alright. Again, it's like people swear up and down, this chick's the greatest of all time. You know, Bleacher Report recently did their 25 greatest, the greatest WWE women's wrestlers of all time or some shit like that, right? And she was like in the top 5. I mean, like, she's not my top 5. I promise you that. Alright, but it's like, I don't know, man. It's like, there's something off-putting about Mercedes Moné that I can't get behind her. Just fully support her like that, man. And it's weird because her favorite wrestler is my favorite wrestler in Viva la Raza, say, boom, Eddie Guerrero. Alright, so obviously she has good taste, but it's just like I can't quite put my finger what it is I dislike about Mercedes Moné. I don't know, man, but this was a good match, mainly because of Riho selling, right? So normally the moves that Mercedes tries to execute that looks botchy or shitty at times look good because of Riho. So we fast forward to the finish. because there was no possible way Riho was beating Mercedes here tonight. Ain't gonna happen. Even though Riho is the first AEW Women's World Champion. Never forget that. Mercedes hits the Monet Maker, alright, which she never hits that move clean. Ever. I think I've seen her hit it clean once or twice, where every time she tried to hit it, looks like shit. Hits it clean because it's Riho taking it. 1, 2, 3. And still TBS champion, CEO, Mercedes Moné. Whoop-de-doo. 9-belt champion. Still champion. Who's gonna beat Mercedes at this point? Well, if it were me, I'll build up Camille. If she's still with the company. Alright, because I don't know, because she says some comments. I guess that pissed off con man and has been buried ever since. Alright, so I wouldn't be surprised if we don't ever see Camille ever again. Which is a damn shame. But I'll pick her. If she's not available, then I'll build up Megan Bane. Have her squash freaking Mercedes, make her look like an absolute fucking beast. The beast that the Amazon is. Or hell, maybe she posts an option C to where she vacates the TBS championship, doesn't even put anybody over clean for it, just to go after the AEW Women's World Championship. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm just saying, I'm putting it out there. We then move on to the next match. That's for the AEW Unified Championship, and this was my match of the night up until the main event. Alright, you have Oscar Dorada says Simone from CMLL, and I watched your pay-per-view. I think it's like their, if I'm not mistaken, their 92nd anniversary. Apparently, I don't know how long CMLL has been around, but that's a long fucking time. 9 decades? My goodness. You have the Alpha, the winner of the G1 Climax here in 2025. Couldn't go scared to Takeshita. Going up against the reigning, defending, undisputed AEW Unified Champion, the Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada. This was a great match. I enjoyed it. You know, hard hitting. Dorada did his fucking thing. The Alpha always brings it. Even Okada, he felt like working tonight. Alright? So, fast forward to the finish, where they were telling a story that Konosuke, he had like the superplex into the Raging Fire to Dorada, was about to pin him, become a new champion. Where Okada comes through, he drops his ass, hits the Rainmaker on Dorada for the 1, 2, 3, and still AEW Unified Champion, the Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada. After the match, get to stare down. This is the money match right here. I'm telling you, big business. Even Don Callis, he knows. Alpha Konosuke Takeshita versus Rainmaker Kazuchika Okada for AEW Unified Championship. It needs to happen. It needs to fucking happen. But we move on to the next match, the coffin match. We got Darby All Out versus Gian Moxley. Anyway, you even get a full entrance because Darby says, "Fuck you, I'm attacking you on sight." But again, I gotta be honest, I couldn't get into this match. I'm like, there's at one point, Darby was insistent, just biting the cartilage out of John Moxley's ear, and I'm just like, what? Like, you're not Mike Tyson. Like, what is this? Like, I don't know, what am I watching here? And he does, I'll kick your fucking head in, even though he kicks the shoulder blade, not his actual head. You know, tries to choke him out with the fucking plastic bag and all this shit, man. But the shocker of the match was the returning Pac, who cuts his hair. I said, that's the first time I've ever seen Pac cut his hair. And I've been watching this dude since the Adrian Neville days back in NXT. And the crowd, they're on point throughout the night. Now, they wanted to pop at first, but then he attacks Darby. They're like, boo, boo, you suck, right? Like, and they're vocal pretty much all throughout the night. Like, chanting Daniel Garcia, like, you sold out, shit like that, right? Big Stoke, you get no hoes. You get no hoes, right? Booing the fuck out of Pac. Because now he's back with the Rough Riders, right? Lays out Darby, hits the power bomb on top of the coffin to Darby, all right? Puts him in the body bag and then puts his ass in the coffin so that Jon Moxley goes over. Right? They carry his ass off to back. Moxley talking this shit. He was like, I didn't want to do this. He forced my hand. Some shit like that, right? So fast forward, we see the conglomeration backstage. We see Mark Briscoe cutting a promo, as Mark Briscoe always does. He's like, now you see, we got the conglomeration. We got myself, we got Roger Strong, we got Kyle O'Reilly, we got Will Nightingale, we got Harley Cameron. I just whooped MJF's ass, but that's one thorn in my ass that's gone. And Harley Cameron really pulls out a thorn out of Mark Briscoe's ass. But then I got another pain in the ass I got to deal with, and that's the Don Callis family. So next week, it's going to be a 6-man tag team match. It's going to be me. It's going to be Kyle O'Reilly versus the Don Callis family. It don't matter which three it is, but who's the third man? Well, I'm glad you asked below. And this is where they announce the third man is the returning Orange Cassidy. Mr. Freshly Squeezed himself coming through back to Dynamite. Alright, so he'll be there next week or this week coming on Wednesday. So, moving on. Right, the next match, a Fatal 4-Way, and this video package for this match was fantastic. Wonderful. Stellar. Alright, superb. Honestly, one of the best video packages this company has ever done. Not gonna lie to you. Like, I like the Cowboy Bebop Lupin III style of editing and the music that was going on here. Fantastic. I loved it. Alright. But we have the Fatal 4-Way. We have Tekla going against the best in the world. Haters are gonna hate Jamie Hayter, and this woman is perfect. I'm sorry, it's perfection. Every time I see Jamie Hayter going out there. Kris Statlander, alright, going up against the reigning, defending, undisputed AEW Women's World Champion, timeless Toni Storm. And I do believe for my predictions, I was 7-4 because I had a few biased picks. That being Jamie Hayter, obviously she's my favorite. One of my favorites in women's wrestling today. So obviously, if there's anybody I want to see go over, it's Jamie Hayter, her fine ass. But if there's anybody else that I want to see win, that'll be Kris Statlander. Alright. Get the match. This match was excellent as well. Right. And it was hilarious because Bryan Danielson, he was like, why is Yuta out there? He's a waste of space. And I'm like, amen, Bryan Danielson. Every time this dude goes out there, just a heat magnet. Just boo. Like, you suck. At that go away heat, brother. That Dixie Carter heat. Alright? Willer Yuta sucks. I'll keep on saying that. This dude does not have it. Right? This dude is like the epitome of undercard, mid-card talent. Nothing more, nothing less. Right? But get the match. Alright, fast forward to the finish. Everybody have their highlights, throughout the match. But we get to the finish. Statlander rose up Toni Storm for the 1, 2, 3, and no! AEW Women's World Champion Kris Statlander. And I do believe there was like a little infographic that said this was her first title match in over 1,497 days. That is so fucking disgusting. You gonna tell me this woman has had a championship match in almost 1,500 days? My goodness. Like, that's just downright disrespectful. That's what that is. Alright? So you bet your sweet Bippy that Kris Statlander is the new AEW Women's World Champion. And well deserved. Alright? I know it was Danielson. He was saying how Statlander might be the most physically gifted women's wrestler here on the roster. You can make that argument. I'll never forget this match. It was a tag team match. It was like Statlander, I think, teaming up with, or it might have been Statlander and Orange Cassidy versus like Trent Beretta and somebody else, right? And she hit one of the cleanest 450 splashes I've ever seen in my life. And ever since then, I've been a fan. Alright, so this was well deserved. You know, she busted her ass, overcoming injuries. I think like a knee injury or like an ACL tear or some shit, right? And I had some minor setbacks to lead to this moment right here to where she's now the AEW Women's World Champion. So, big ups to Kris Statlander. She completely deserves it. Alright, hopefully Con-Man gives her a good run. Alright, she does not need to be dropping that belt anytime soon. We then move on to the next match. Got the 4-way ladder match. You got the Young Cucks going up against Jet Speed, who are my pick to win here. You got the random ass team of the Walking Weapon, Josh Alexander. We got a good pop here, along with Speedball Mike Bailey, teaming up with Hechicero, right, from the Doghouse family, going up against Rodito. And this match was a spot fest. Alright, just like any typical ladder match, is all about, you know, motherfuckers going through ladders, going through tables, you know, you name it. Alright, we fast forward to the finish. Bandito climbs up the ladder, reaches, takes out both the titles, and still AEW Tag Team Champions, Rodito. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe Bandito still has the ROH World Championship, so he's still a dual champion here in this company. So, hey, good for Brodito. You know, I kind of feel bad for Buddy Murphy with Buddy Matthews, because he should have been in his spot here. He got injured. It is what it is. We then see the returning Jungle Jobber, Matthew Perry. Alright, Young Cucks are like, what are you doing here, dude? What the fuck? Jungle Jobber says fuck you to Nicholas, takes him down. You know, then we see Rocky Romero coming out of nowhere helping Young Cucks. Even though I'm like, why is Rocky Romero out here? He's not part of the Elite, he's part of the Doghouse family, but what do I know? Jungle Jobber hits a DDT to Rocky, drops his ass, lays his ass out. Young Cucks hit the super kick. They're going to set up the BTE trigger, and then we see Jungle Jobber smiling. And in the commentary, they're like, why is Jungle Boy smiling? You know, we go to the video scope. Yep. Right, see this whole video package of the returning Luchasaurus. Comes through, hits the double choke slam to the Young Cucks. Alright, Jungle Boy, he says, take that fucking belt off. Alright, Killswitch takes the belt off. He's gonna hand it to Jungle Boy. Jungle Boy says, no, give it to the people. He throws that son of a bitch to the people. They embrace each other with a big ass hug, and they get one of the biggest pops of the night. Their old theme song that that shit. So Jurassic Express is back, right? And now I can go back to not shitting on Jungle Boy Matthew Perry, alright? Because my problem with him is trying to take him seriously as a single star. Now, don't forget, he was one of the 4 pillars in his company. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I still want to see Luchasaurus get a singles push, but that day may never come. Alright? Then go backstage with Rough Riders. Moxie was like, no, I got some words I want to say to the kid. All right, you guys head on out of here. All right. And then we see Darby come out of nowhere, hits Moxley right upside his trachea with a leaded pipe, and then proceeds to light this dude on fire. All right. He says, burn, you motherfucker. Burn. Burn. So this feud's going to continue. All right. But that leads us to the main event. All right. As for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship, all right, you got the Proto Star, all right, the Team Move, David Bowie himself, Kyle Fletcher, going up against the reigning, defending, undisputed AEW World Champion, the Hangman, Adam Page. And this was match of the night, I'm not gonna lie, because they pulled me in towards the end of this match. I said, you got me. I'm not gonna lie, you got me. Alright? And the crowd was chanting at one point, like, you're not ready. You're not ready. And Taz was pissed. He says, I'm so sick of this you're not ready shit. Alright? Like, you don't get to this stage at this level, being the main event of PLE or pay-per-view, if you're not ready. Right? It's so fucking stupid. And I'm like, damn, Taz, relax, choculo. And I see it from both sides of the coin. Right? You got Kyle, and I said this before, and I like Kyle Fletcher. Right? He has all the upside in the world. Tall, jacked, you know, can go in the ring, you know, he's getting better on promos. Still has ways to go, but he'll get there. All right, he's only 26 years old. All right, so a lot of upside of Kyle Fletcher. But we all knew that this dude was not winning here tonight. But that did not stop this man from going out there and putting on a banger of a performance. Like, I was more impressed with Kyle Fletcher than I was with Adam Page here at his main event. All right, I already know Adam, he can go. I already know that. Kyle, like, he did his thing. I'm not gonna hold you. Alright, there was at one point Kyle hits the hidden blade, flying hidden blade to Adam Page. Adam did his the big pressure. He says shout out to Vlad TV's Swerve Strickland, right? You know, they're going back and forth. Here Kyle hits a nasty, and I do mean a nasty brain buster to Adam Page. Goes for the pin. 1, 2, ref almost counts to 3. But Adam Page kicks out at 2.999, and the whole crowd was shocked. They were like, "Yo, that was that's the shit that got me." I'm with the crowd here. I'm like, "Yo, that was fucking close." I was really, really fucking close. Yeah, Bryan Danielson losing this shit. He was like, "Oh my god!" Like, Adam Page kicks out. He kicked out. Don Callis was like, "That was bullshit. That was a 3 count, ref." Right, Kyle Fletcher, he was talking this shit. It's like, I should be a fucking world champion right now because of you, asshole. Shut the fuck up, Paul. And I'm like, there you go. That's the Kyle Fletcher I want to see. That edge, you know what I mean? Like that drive. You know, there it is, right? But Adam Page hits an avalanche deadeye into the buckshot lariat, almost takes this man head off with that lariat. For the 1, 2, 3, and still AEW World Champion Adam Page. And that is it for All Out. And honestly, I think this was the best pay-per-view of the year for AEW. I liked it more than All In. All In was too fucking long. It's like I went to this pay-per-view with lower expectations, right? And it exceeded everything. Like it delivered. I thought it was a good pay-per-view, man. Like that main event delivered. Kris Statlander is now the champion. Right? I enjoyed the triple threat between Okada, Takeshita, and Dorada, and like there's some good shit in this card, for sure. We got the return of Jurassic Express, Beth Phoenix come through, so yeah, I enjoyed the shit more than All In. Forbidden Door, I think this was AEW's best pay-per-view so far this year. I'm not gonna hold you, alright? But I want to hear from you guys. How do you guys feel about All Out this year? Let me know your guys' favorite match, your favorite moment, all that good shit in the comment section. As far as what's next, TNA, then NWA. I might do that video on Stephanie McMahon and her Hall of Fame induction. I might do that. I'm going to try to do a DPW review. It's been a minute since I got to do one, since I've only done 1 or 2 so far on this channel. And I want to get back to DPW. So I'm going to try to do that this week. I'll have enough time to cover CMLL, so I'll talk about that in community posts for their 92nd anniversary. So yeah, that's pretty much it for right now. Wasting off you guys' time, being here for over 40 minutes. Because again, these shows are fucking long. Alright, here's the problem: you got WWE, they got too many fucking shows, oversaturated. AEW, their shows, their pay-per-views are too fucking long. Alright. But it is what it is. What can I do about it? But wasting enough of guys' time, so be safe, be blessed, take care of yourself, protect yours, loved ones, stay warm, stay dry, stay frosty, but most importantly, trust in God. God be with you. I am out of here. Until next time, adios.